Salutations, gentle viewers. I'm George from Ireland. Here I am in Bun Hill Fields Cemetery in London. So for centuries this was a burial ground, and from the 17th century onwards it was a burial ground for non-conformists, that is to say Protestants who did not conform to the Church of England. Baptists, Presbyterians, Quakers, Plymouth Brethren, subsequently Methodists when they formed in the late 18th century, and the last interment here was in 1854, and as you can see, by then it was very much filled up. So there are various famous people who have been laid to rest here, but I shan't go on about that. Why I'm here is really because this is where you'll find the last resting place of William Blake, that renowned poet and painter, who was born in 1757 in London, and he was baptized at St James's Church. You might say, well, there's several churches called St James's, but the one which actually gives its name to a district called St James's. It still stands. I filmed outside it. So he of Tiger, Tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry, and so on. So he produced many images of his nightmarish visions, and he was a political radical, well known to the other romantic poets of the era, though he lived to a riper age than most of them. He lived much of his life just south of the River Thames, near Waterloo Station, in a house which unfortunately was demolished around about 1910, despite a spirited campaign to save it. So it's an awful act of vandalism, but a plaque marks the spot. And he was married. He lies here in eternal repose with his good wife, Catherine Sophia. So yeah, he spent almost his entire life in London. And what else is he known for? Well, his songs of experience, his embrace of nature. He saw that society in the 18th century had all these structured inequalities, was about artificiality, and he detested affectation in all things, and just being wild and letting it all hang out. It's almost as though that he was a prophet of the hippies or flower power people of the 1960s and so on, although he was fairly serious, hard-headed in making a living at the same time. One of his fantastic quotations is that the road to excess will lead to the palace of wisdom. So he certainly believed in indulging himself, and he wanted the doors of perception to be opened. A quotation which was to inspire that American band of Jim Morrison, The Doors. So yeah, here he is. He's certainly worth reading, and he lived a very full life. So that's that. Many more people to see here in Bun Hill Cemetery, and the daffodils are springing as we're in spring. But unfortunately you will not be able to find a last resting place near him. And incidentally, we're not quite sure this is the real location of his grave, because the headstone fell over, was later located and re-erected. That's why it says near this place. Alright, that's enough from me for now.